Hello. It's Dying Matters Awareness Week from May the 14th to the 20th, 2018. The week provides us with an opportunity to focus on the importance of talking about death, dying and bereavement. Hundreds of events will be taking place across England to try and change attitudes and behaviour around talking about and planning for a good death. It's important that we focus on people with learning disabilities and their families too. All too often we seem to find a different set of expectations for people with learning disabilities about how long they live and how they die. And we also see a different set of expectations about bereaved relatives of people with learning disabilities who have died. That has to stop. Let us use the opportunity of Dying Matters Awareness Week to challenge some of these discriminatory attitudes. Do we know the end-of-life wishes of people with learning disabilities we support? How can we better support bereaved families? Here are some families of a person with learning disabilities who have died talking about their experiences.
When my daughter died, there wasn't a review process in place at all, but I think had it been there, it would have been immensely helpful to have had somebody to talk to and go through what had happened, and to make sure it would have given us the confidence that the learning that we had from that experience could be captured and could prevent other people having relatives die in similar circumstances.
We were there the whole time that Susan was in the hospital, and seeing all the different doctors, a renal doctor, a cardiology doctor, who actually didn't understand Susan, didn't know Susan. He just looked at pieces of paper and he knew nothing about her, and he assumed she could talk, he assumed she could get up. He, said, we'll have you back to the home within a week. At the end of the week, when one consultant was telling us we'd got a couple of hours to a couple of days, and Susan couldn't reply back to him, but he didn't know that because he hadn't looked and understood about what her care was needed. And that's what hurt and wasn't right.
In my daughter's case as well, there was a sort of long history that led up to her death, and I think that was very relevant. There were things that happened to her care and treatment that led to her dying at the age of 25. She was very seriously ill, critically ill when she was 15, and her health was damaged irrevocably, and she died 10 years later as a result of that irrevocable change to her health.
We fought her corner right up until the end. You just want to make sure she has the best, because she deserves the best and she needs the best, and you know what's right for her.
And I think that there were really important things that we could have learnt looking back, particularly about picking up things like signs of sepsis that were overlooked, ascribing the fact that she was behaving in a way that staff thought was difficult, because she had a learning disability. They were not picking up that she was in absolutely agonising pain, and had they picked up on those signs sooner, we might have prevented the catastrophes that led to her being in critical care.
The whole impact of those 6.5 weeks of us seeing everybody, ordering her food, trying to get her to taste different things, putting the radio on for her so she had that, speaking to the friends of the hospital, trying to see if they could have somebody, the same person all the time, go and see her, so she had the continuity, that it wasn't a male that somebody came to see her because she was scared of that. They didn't know any of this. We knew all of that about Susan.
And I think there's something very important for families about it is a lonely place. There are not many people who live through these experiences, and you can't just talk to your neighbours and family about this easily, because it's quite profound. You've gone through something quite traumatic, and you need people who understand what you've gone through to make sense of it with you. And I think it's really important that there are people there who you can talk to freely about your concerns and know that you're going to be really listened to.
Hopefully recommendations from these reviews will help people with learning disabilities have better end-of-life care.
What we want ultimately to see, those of us who've lost family members, is to make sure these terrible things don't happen to other people if there are things that can be put right. I'm sure that there are times when there may not be solutions and answers to why that person died, There may not be the medical treatments that could have supported them. But for many people, there is learning to be had from their experiences. And if that makes services safer and better for other people with learning disabilities, then that's got to be the best possible outcome.
We'd like to challenge you to do something that will make the end-of-life experiences of people with learning disabilities and their families as good as it possibly can be. Please let us know what you will do, and even better, tell us what you've done. We'll share your actions on our website to inspire others. Thank you.